Hi everyone, welcome again. So this is going to be our second lecture in this React course, right? So in the previous lecture we actually talked about the curriculum overview, what is React, what are all the things that we are going to learn and everything about that. But from this lecture, let's get into action, right? So let's start with React development. But before actually moving on to start working with React, we need some configuration. We need to do something in our local system so that we can work with React seamlessly, right? So basically what we need to do, there are a few things that we'll need to install, and there are a few things that we'll need to configure, right? So the first thing is you will be needing an IDE. Now what is an IDE? IDE is basically an intelligent development environment. So basically there are so many IDEs, like you can use Sublime Text, Atom, VS Code, all of these are IDEs, right? So in this course, we are going to use VS Code for our IDE, right? So what is VS Code? VS Code is Visual Studio Code, which will give you a complete environment where you can actually write your code, where you can actually build stuff, right? So over here, you can see that this is our actual website. This is the official website of VS Code. Whenever you'll open this, you will see this kind of a website, right? And here you have a button that says download Mac Universal. So I'm on a Mac machine, so it's giving me an option for Mac machine. If you're on a Windows machine, you will be getting an option for a Windows machine. Great. So now when you will click on this button, basically a setup will be installed for you, right? So basically it is of 202 MB, so it will take around 4-5 minutes. So I'll just get back when it has done installing, and then we'll basically when it has done downloading, and then we'll install this. All right, see you again. Alright, so after installing VS Code, you will be seeing this kind of an UI, right? So basically over here, you can see you can do some stuff with all of these options. We'll see how what we are going to do. And then you have just a blank page, right? So first thing that we need to do is we need to create a folder where we are going to write a React code, where we are going to write any kind of code, right? So basically what you can do is you can go over here to the Explorer, right? And when you go into the Explorer, it will give you an option of open folder, right? So let's open this. So when I will go to open folders, I'll just find for the React course folder, which I just created, right? So basically React course scalar. In this folder, we'll be talking about our course, right? So I'll just open this, and over here you can see my folder has been opened. And now inside this folder, let me just maximize this a bit, yes. And inside this folder, we'll be having all of our files, code files, everything, right? So this is how you can actually open a folder in your VS Code. Now, there are a few things that I need you to install that will basically you will see that what they will do later, right? So over here, if you can see in this fifth option, we have extensions, right? So extensions are nothing but extra tools that you will get with VS Code. You can download them, and basically you can do some of the task with the help of extensions, right? So they make your task easy, right? So there are so many tasks that you will have to do repeatedly that is not something that you should focus your time on, right? So basically for that you can actually have extensions. So we'll need two extensions over here. One is basically React snippets, right? You will see what this extension will do. So React snippets, and we'll install this one, right? The third one, ES7 plus React Redux React Native snippets, right? So this one you have to install. You must be seeing an installed button over here. In my system it is already installed, that's why I'm getting these two options. But just if you will see one install button, you just have to click on that and it will be installed for you, right? The second extension that we are going to install is Prettier. Prettier is basically code formatter, right? So sometimes you will see that there are code that are just not formatted in a right way, so it's not that much readable, right? So basically Prettier will actually help you to format your code better, so it looks particularly modular, it looks readable, it just beautifies things, right? So that's why we have Prettier. So we'll install Prettier. Since okay, I do not have Prettier installed, so I'll just install this. Right, so these are the two extensions that we are going to install, and yes, then we are going to move forward. Alright, so VS Code is done. Now we'll come back to VS Code later when we'll actually create our files and folders over here. But before that, there is one more thing that you need to install, that is Node.js. Yes, so let's go to our browser again, and over here let's write Node.js. Let's talk about Node.js now. What is Node.js? So Node.js is actually a JavaScript runtime environment. So as you know that JavaScript was actually created for browser. It's by default a browser specific language. But now after Node.js, we can actually use JavaScript in our local system as well if we have Node.js installed, right? And if you want to learn more about Node.js, I've created a strong 7.5 hours course on Node.js that will actually tell you about what you can do with actual Node.js, right? But over here, we just need to install Node.js because React needs support of Node.js to run, right? You will use npm packages. There will be a lot of things where Node support will be needed. So that's why we need Node.js installed in our system, right? But other than that, okay, we won't be talking about Node.js that much in this course, right? We just need this for support. So basically, if you see LTS and current, so there are two versions to it. We'll be installing the LTS version. So if I go and install the LTS versions, I'll just click on this and it will start a download wizard for you, right? So it is getting downloaded. So why am I just downloading the LTS version and not the current version? Because sometimes it happens that the current version has some bugs, right? So you should always go for the LTS version, long-term support. So yes, this is the most stable version out there as of now, right? All right, so this has done installing. So after it is done installing, again, you will find a setup wizard. So let me just open this for you. So after installing Node.js, you will see a setup wizard like this, right? Node.js installer. So what you can do is that they'll just give you introduction and everything about that. If you want to read it, feel free to, but yeah, doesn't make sense. So I'll just move forward, and over here you will have to just agree to all of this that they're saying, right? We will just say continue and yes, agree. And over here they are saying installation type. So this is my Macintosh HG. Yes, this is basically my storage, right? Disk. So I'll just install this over here. You must be having yours, right? So let's just install this, and over here I'll just enter my password and I'll just say install, right? So this is how you can just clearly install Node.js in your system and it will be installed for you. So let's just wait for it a bit. Summary, yes, this has been installed. So I'll just close this and now I'll just keep it yes. So basically now we have Node.js installed, but now how are you going to check that if Node.js is already installed in your system or not, right? So what we can do is we can just go to our CMD, right? That is our command prompt. So I'll just open it for you and terminal, and over here in my terminal I'll just write node --version, and as I press enter, right, so now you can see my version is 18.18.2. So this actually signifies that okay, Node.js is installed in our system, right? So we are now done with Node.js. And also just let me show you an interesting thing. If I say node and if I go over here and if I just write any code, right, let me just write 2 plus 2. So this actually outputs 4, right? So you can just test your code out in this console as well, in this terminal as well, right? So yeah, that's one fun thing to do. All right, but we cannot code like this, right? So we'll have to use our IDE. So let's go to our VS Code. So over here we have our VS Code, right? So I'll just close everything, and over here you also have a terminal. So if you want to check, you can actually check over here as well. So if I open this terminal of my Mac or of my system, right? So what I can do, I can just do this as well. If I write node --version over here as well. So over here also it gives me the message that this particular version has been installed, right? So we have installed Node.js, we have installed VS Code. These are the two things that you are going to need to actually start working with React. And now from the next lecture, we will actually start with our first lecture on React, where we'll actually set up our React project. Thank you.